All right, we're going to go through the review together. So I'm going to go through each problem. Make sure that you are looking through your packet. And if you get things incorrect, I would make sure to go through and review them with videos that are either on Schoology or if you look up virtualmathnerd.com, they will have great videos on there for you as well. Go through, look through your notes, everything like that. So here are the answers. For this first one, find the slope of the line pictured. So remember, we read from left to right. So from this first point on the left to the second point on the right, I am going down. So I count, I'm going down 1, 2. Because I am going down, it is a negative. So my slope is rise over run. Rise over the run. So in this case, I'm going down 2, and then I'm running over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I always have to make sure I reduce, so it is negative 1/3 for my slope. It is very important that you are going from left to right, because if I went right to left, I would think I'm going up. That's not right. It needs to be negative because it is a declining slope. All right, number 2, find the slope between these 2 points. Remember, this is your x and your y, x and y. So my slope is that point, or that slope formula, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. That might be important for you to have on your blue one-pager, that formula. So I would take 7, take away negative 1, which means I'm adding. And then 5, take away 3. Because I started with the 7, I'm going to start with the 5. I could have also set it up as negative 1, take away 7, 3, take away 5. You get the same answer. So 7 plus 1 is 8. 5 minus 3 is 2. I simplify it, and my slope is 4. Direct variation. Remember that direct variation is in the form y equals kx. So when it says what is the equation in direct variation, you are looking for filling in this as your constant, which is the same as slope. With this, your constant k is the value of y divided by x. So if my x is 2, and my y is 12, I divide that out. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I'm replacing k with 6, so b is my direct variation equation. This is the one that many people got wrong on our quiz. Suppose that y varies directly with x. Write a direct variation equation, meaning in the form y equals kx, not just what k equals. Then find the value. So if y is 4 and x is 8, I can find my k by going y divided by x, which is a half. But the answer that we are looking for is that equation, y equals 1/2 x. So that is my answer for the first one. If you have just k equals a half, you don't get the credit. The equation, it literally says equation, is what we're looking for. Half is just giving me what that constant is. Now I can take this and find the value of y when x is 5. So y equals 1/2 of 5, which is 2.5. So again, remember, you will have 2 like this on your test. The equation is that y equals kx, and then you find the next piece. All right, graphing the equation. So in this first one, it is in the slope-intercept form. So my m is negative 1/2. So if m is negative 1/2, hold on, Eden. Nice job, buddy. You ate it all. Good job. Negative is going down, and then 2 goes to the right. And then your b is 3. B represents the starting point, 0, 3, your y-intercept. So I start at 0, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I use my slope, negative 1/2. So I go down 1, to the right 2. Down 1, to the right 2. Connect my points, and there is your line. So that number that's being added or subtracted is where you start on your graph, on your y-axis, and then you use the slope to go from there. So for number 6, my slope is 1 because there's nothing in front of the x. And then my y-intercept means I start at -2. So 0, -2. So -2, and then my slope is 1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. And I connect, and there you go. Alright, so now write this in slope-intercept form. Well, remember that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So our first step is going to distribute this out. So y plus 2 is 3 times x minus 15. Now, in order to get y by itself, I need to undo this here. So I'm going to take away 2, take away 2. So I have y equals 3x minus 17. This is in the form y equals mx plus b. That is your final answer. Write this in slope-intercept form. Well, right now, this is in standard form. Again, I want it in y equals mx plus b. So my first step is I'm going to bring the x over. It's subtracting, so I'm going to add x. So I'm left with 5y equals x plus 15. Y is still not by itself yet, so I'm going to divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. Hey, 80, no. X over 5 is the same as saying 1/5 x. So you could have the answer two ways. Y equals x divided by 5 plus 3, or y equals 1/5 x plus 3. Either of these is correct. All right. Which point is located on this? Well, remember, point slope form is in the form y minus y1 is slope of x minus x1. Well, it's telling me right here that this is my y value, this is my x value. And remember, we go the opposite. So if my x is adding 5, it's really a -5. And if it is subtracting 2, it is really a +2. So out of all of these points, C is the one that is shown in this equation. You're just pulling it right out in the form. All right, the graphing. Now, graphing seems to be a hard part for us, so I would really suggest that you are practicing this before the test. Graph this equation. So I'm going to pull out my point, my slope, and graph them. So my slope is 2, and what that means is it's 2 over 1, positive goes up, and we start by going to the right. My point is going to be opposite, y, x. So the opposite of taking away 1 is a +1. The opposite of adding 3, -3. So I start at 1, -1, 2, 3. And I use my slope to graph again. 1, 2, 1. Up 1, 2, right 1. And there is my graph. Now, if you feel more comfortable with distributing this out, you would get it down to y equals 2x and then minus 5. So watch what I do. 1, 2, 1. You can start at your y-intercept -5 and go that way also. I do want you to get comfortable with pulling out the information, but if on the test you get like stuck, distribute and get it to that slope-intercept form and go from there. All right, on this one, my point is opposite of x, opposite of y. So negative 2, 3. So negative 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And my slope is negative 2/3, which means I go down and then to the right, down and then to the right. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And there is my slope. All right. A given line passes through these 2 points. Write an equation in point slope form. So first, I need to find what my actual slope is. So I'm going to find that first. 10 take away negative 2. What do you need?
The teacher roll-ups are gonna have less one.
Okay, that's okay. Just eat it. There you go. So 10 plus 2 over 3 minus 5. So again, the y's on top, the x is on the bottom. So 12 over negative 2 is negative 6. Now I can have my point slope be either y plus 2 is negative 6 times x minus 5. Or, if you chose the other one, y minus 10 is negative 6 of x minus 3. We get the same answer in the bottom here. So I'm going to start with just using this one. So if I have y plus 2 equals, I'm going to distribute this out. So negative 6x, this is a 3 here, plus 30. And then I'm going to take away 2. So you get y equals negative 6x plus 28. So that's your answer there. If you think about it, negative 6 times negative 3 gives me 18. And 18 plus 10 also gives me 28. So you get the same answer. All right, this one, find the x and y intercepts. Remember, when we find our intercepts, we are literally first one finding for x, 7x equals 14. And then we're solving for y, negative 2y equals 14. So solve for x. X equals 2, but that's not my final answer. I have to put it in a coordinate point, 2, 0. And then I solve for y. Y equals negative 7. So then I have 0, negative 7. And that's your final answer. The coordinate points, not just x, y, the coordinate points. Oops. Now in this one I have negative 6x equals negative 36. That's not 36. Oh, shoot. Negative 6x equals 36. And then 3y equals, that's a negative, Jesus. Negative 36. Jesus Louise, man. All right. So x equals 6. So I have 6, 0. And then y equals negative 12. So then 0, negative 12. So remember, when you're solving for your intercept, solve for x, solve for y, but make sure you put them in the coordinate point. So you have x, 0, 0, y. Things you should be putting on your one-pager.